And good Friday evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here at WSAZ Plus. I'm Taylor Eaton. And as we go over our headlines here to end the week, we do have some breaking news that we are going to begin with. And this is just into us. That's what I was working on just a few minutes before we joined you here on WSAZ Plus. So we were getting our crew situated there at the scene so that way we could bring you some pictures and the newest information. And that is just back in. So let me share with you a picture just back from the scene as we talk about this house fire that crews are right now responding to in Charleston. The Charleston Fire Department is responding to this fire. It's along Berkshire Place. And we did just receive some new information. So let me, forgive me, I'm going to pull up my email here because our crew there at the scene just was able to speak with the Charleston Fire Department. We were sitting in our newsroom listening to this play out, and this was a very intense fire when they first got there on the scene, but we've just learned from the fire department that everyone in this home was able to make it out okay. They said the fire started in the garage. And they said there were flames, smoke inside the place. But they said, thankfully, it seems as though they've been able to keep that from spreading to the main part of the home. And the firefighters were able to rescue the family pet and get the family pet out okay, too. So everyone able to escape this fire with no injuries. And that's the great news here tonight. We've not received word from the firefighters as far as how extensive the damage is. So details very limited at this point, but thankfully the good news here tonight, we can report to you that this family made it out of their home safely and their family pet is okay as well. So if we get new information, we'll be sure to bring that to you at 10 and 11 tonight. And you can always check WSAZ.com as we let you know the newest information as we get it. Our next top story that we are following for you here tonight on WSAZ Plus, 2 people killed in a shooting in Huntington. Our reporter Luke Hamilton is following up on this one. Happened very early this morning, but family and friends now grieving that loss. A third person was injured, and still the person responsible for the shooting, according to police, has not been caught yet. So we'll share some video from what the scene looked like early this morning. And we have now learned the names of the 2 people that were killed in that shooting. Police telling us Adrian Phillips and Darius Johnson died from their injuries after that shooting. It happened near 3.5 Alley, right near 14th Street. Officials say that Johnson was a coach at St. Joseph Catholic High School in Huntington. We did receive a statement from the school mourning his loss, and we have that full statement posted on WSAZ.com right now. And then later in the evening, we learned that Phillips worked for the street division for the city of Huntington. The city also releasing a statement about his passing, and that's also listed on WSAZ.com right now. Police telling us a third person was injured in this shooting and taken onto the hospital. We have not received an update from police on how that person is doing tonight. And there have been no arrests in this case. Police are asking for your help, though. We do know we talked with at least one business in the area that told us they had turned over some surveillance video to help police in their investigation. Wouldn't share details as to what was included or what they saw in that surveillance video, but they are asking for anyone that may have witnessed what happened to get in touch with them. You can call the Huntington Police Department or you can call 911 and let them know any information that may help in this investigation. But we'll have a full report on this one coming up for you tonight at 10 and 11. And if you can't join us, we'll post that full story for you on WSAZ.com once it airs. Next tonight, after a couple of days of deliberations in a trial that we were following here in Cabell County, this has finally come to a conclusion, and it's, I guess you could say, kind of back to square one, as the prosecutor put it. It kind of resets this whole case, and we will share with you why that is. So the gentleman that was standing trial in this case, his name is Chad Fink, and he worked as a band instructor at a school in Cabell County between 2014 and 2015. And he was standing trial this week, accused of dozens of counts of sexual assault and sexual abuse involving, at the time, a 15-year-old student in the case. And the prosecutors and others that were involved in this case said that Mr. Fink was 27 years old at the time that this all allegedly happened. So he was standing trial in this case for his alleged relationship with this student while he was an instructor for a school in Cabell County. The trial lasted for a few days, and Chad Fink took the stand in his own defense. He was questioned by prosecutors and the defense team. And there were other witnesses that took the stand throughout the entirety of this trial. And then ultimately it went to the jury, and it was in their hands. And the jury received that case yesterday and deliberated for a few hours yesterday before they were finally sent home and told to return this morning and give it another go to see if they could reach a verdict in the case. Well, late this evening, we got word from our crew that was in the courtroom that the jury had finally returned, but this was what happened. Jurors in the Cabell County Circuit Court told the judge they could not reach a verdict in the trial of Chad Fink after 2 days of deliberations. Now, our crew told us he was found not guilty of 6 of the charges, but the jury said they simply could not come to an agreement about all of the other charges. And we can't say as to why. We were not in the jury room, but that is the result of this. And we spoke with the prosecuting attorney tonight, and he is going to share a little bit more at 10 and 11 on what happens next, because there is going to be a date. It's already been set. They're going to return at some point next month. It's going to be later on in the month, where then they'll determine the next steps in this case. If they will move forward with another trial, what's going to happen. They did say that they would be consulting with his attorneys in this and having those discussions. And so that's set to happen next month. So we'll be following that. But today, the jury returning in the case of Chad Fink, saying they simply could not come to an agreement on all of the charges in the case. And at this point, it has been declared a mistrial. Next tonight, an update on some breaking news that we had here at 10 and 11 yesterday evening. When we came on the air and joined you, we had some breaking news that we were following in Nicholas County, West Virginia. And we were checking in with Luke Hamilton, our reporter. He was live at the scene after we had received word that 3 people had been found dead inside a home in Nicholas County, specifically the Summersville area. And it was a pretty active scene when he first arrived there. The Summersville Police Department was on the scene along with the West Virginia State Police, their crime unit there, and he said that there were lots of agencies that were involved in this situation here. So the update tonight that we can share with you is we've now learned the names of the 3 people that were found dead inside that home, and the police chief has said exactly what happened here. So as we update this, and the victims have now been identified, we can share with you from the police chief. He says this was a double murder-suicide that happened here last night. The Summersville police chief saying it was yesterday evening that Nicholas County 911 had first received calls about 3 people that have been found inside a home with severe head trauma in the 400 block of Ashley Lane in Summersville. Well, the police chief telling us that a man named Douglas Morrow shot his wife and his mother-in-law before police say he then turned the gun on himself. And the police chief did tell us that they don't know the motive in this case. They don't know the reasoning as to why. But that's an update on breaking news that we had here at 10 and 11 last night, and the latest information that we have learned from police as to what occurred there at that home. Our next top headline this evening, word of a deadly fire in Lawrence County, Ohio, and we have some scene video to just show you how horrible this was. I mean, it's really, really tough. Fire just burning through this place, and it was a man that was killed in this fire, according to the firefighters that were there at the scene. Happened at a home along State Route 217, and it was very early this morning at about 5:30. This happened. This home is in Lawrence County, Ohio. several fire departments called out to this one, as well as EMS and police agencies. Officials telling us that there were 2 women that were able to make it out of this home alive, but 1 man sadly passed away in this fire. Firefighters saying that home, as you can see, is a total loss. And at this point, they do not know what caused it. The state fire marshal's office had come in to begin that investigation, but so far we've not received word from them if they've been able to pin down a cause of this fire. But it was very early this morning, and sadly 1 person not able to make it out of this home. And finally tonight, as far as our headlines go here on WSAZ Plus, we've got a lot more coming up for you at 10 and 11, so I hope you'll join us. But these are a few of the big headlines that we are going to have for you and that we've been following throughout the day. We just talked not long ago here on WSAZ Plus about us reaching the 1-year anniversary of the deadly flooding that hit several parts of eastern Kentucky and southern West Virginia. And tonight, there's a glimmer of hope as far as businesses reopening and people beginning that process of getting back into homes. We do know a lot of people are still in temporary housing because of that, but lives were forever changed. But this is a great sign to see here in Pike County because I shared with you, Tim and I were in this spot last year, and as you were driving in on 23, there was just that undeniable smell of mud, and you could still see where the waters had come up so quickly, and they had already receded by the time that we arrived. But one of those areas really hard hit, just kind of right in the middle of this storm, was Pike County, Kentucky. And specifically here, this is video of a store at Weddington Plaza. Looked a whole lot different a year ago. This plaza was shut down. So many of those businesses were flooded out. The doors closed, and several of them have been able to reopen. And today, another one of those celebrating along with its customers. One of those stores that was forced to close the doors a year ago was JCPenney. That is until today. Community members said they were so excited to see this store back. You saw in that video lined up outside as the ribbon was cut for the big reopening. The mayor saying that this was a long time coming, and he said he really hoped to see the progress happen a little bit quicker for Weddington Plaza, but he said it's just so nice to see those stores reopening and to see shoppers coming back in once again. So a lot of happy faces there as one of those stores have finally reopened now a year after the floodwaters forever changed this community. But it's just so nice to see some of those aspects of life starting to come back. So that's welcome news. And we're going to have a big report coming up for you at 10 and 11 on that one, speaking with shoppers and the leaders there in the area that just say they're so thrilled to see this happening. And a lot of this just has to do with peace of mind because many of those leaders there in the aftermath of that flooding started looking at different ways that they could try to improve safety and keep something like this from happening again. And I know the mayor in Coal Run Village, he even said that their flood wall had suffered a lot of damage in that flooding, and they're very close to getting that all repaired. So there's a lot of progress being made here now kind of at the year mark since that flooding. So that's another big story that we're going to have for you at 10 and 11. As always, I really appreciate you being here on WSAZ Plus as we bring you those big headlines of the evening. But that's going to do it for us here. Hard to believe that we've finished out another week. We're at Friday, and on that note, with the weekend ahead, as you're looking to plan, you might want to join us for that forecast at 10 and 11 because Tony says winter is back for us. Maybe even some school delays and closings come Monday morning. How about that? It's like a tug of war between winter and spring here as of late. I really enjoyed today, even though it was windy. I know those winds brought down a lot of tree branches. We had some kind of intermittent power outages here and there. A lot of those have been fixed. Despite that, though, the temperatures were so nice. It was nice to see the sun shining, but things change up for us Saturday and Sunday, so make sure you tune in for that forecast at 10 and 11. Tony will get you caught up and help you plan out your weekend ahead. On that note, I hope all of you do have a wonderful weekend. Always appreciate you being here at WSAZ Plus and watching with us. For now, I'm Taylor Eaton signing off, and I will see you at 10 and 11. If not, everyone, have a great weekend. I'll be back here on WSAZ Plus around 9 o'clock on Monday.